Good afternoon, everyone. This is Chris with Beyond Pay, and I'd like to welcome you to today's webinar. At Beyond Pay, we're guided by three simple values, and that is to learn, collaborate, and care. And so we put on these webinars to help you learn more about our system, learn about new features, and to dig deeper. Today, we're getting close to Thanksgiving, so it's a perfect time to say thank you. Thank you for trusting us. Thank you for being a customer, and thank you for being with us today in this busy week. Today we have Michael Bowerman, one of our implementation specialists. He's going to take you through one of the exciting new features of the system, and that's the interactive charts and graphs with drill down reporting. So what you see here today is going to be an introduction to the concept. It's a very powerful tool that can go even much deeper. So if you need help beyond this, feel free to reach out to one of your customer service reps. They'd be happy to dig deeper and help you put this powerful tool to use. So with that, I'll turn it over to Michael.
All right, thank you, Chris. Hello, everyone. I briefly wanted to go over our agenda and some objectives today. So first of all, why a new UI? Why are we using this new UI? So in today's world, employees and managers want easy and immediate. As admins, you have a lot on your plate already, and you need employees and managers to take more responsibility. So first of all, you will get an updated look and feel with easier navigation, which makes employee and manager training much quicker. We also needed to make some changes to improve the overall employee self-service and manager self-service functions and features. And finally, changes need to be made to give you a system that functions and looks the same regardless of the type of device you are on, such as mobile, tablets, and desktops that are easy for employees to use and learn. So we're going to be going over reporting and creating charts in this new UI. We're going to go over the dashboards, analytics, and insight. And we're going to go over how to get started. So the objectives I want to cover, why the new UI, which I just discussed, less time in the system and more time with employees. How the new UI reporting works, so how charts give insight into what is happening. Module-specific dashboards, so we're going to go into, look into timekeeping, payroll, and employee-related, HR-related functionality, so insight across all modules. And how to become an early adopter. It's free of charge. Everybody likes free. And you can email us at support@beyondpay.com. All right. So without further ado, we're going to jump right into an actual live system here. So as you can see, I am now logged into the system. Now your dashboard may look different depending on the access that you have enabled. But right now we're going to look at three options here. We're going to look at time, payroll, and the My Home tabs in our dashboard here. So first I want to jump over into time. Okay. Now, in this dashboard, this specific time dashboard, we have 6 tiles set here. And I've already created a couple of charts here. And the one that I want to look at here to focus on how to drill down into the specifics by using these charts is this attendance tracking tile. Now, let's say that you come in and you're looking at these exceptions. You want to track exceptions to see if people are coming in late, if they're leaving early, if they're not taking lunches, so on and so forth. So I've got those 3 exceptions set here. And you can instantly see just the visuals of it that leaving early is the most done exception here. So I want to look at that. That's a red flag. Why are all my employees leaving early? Why are there 66 in the last month? So if I wanted to drill into that specifically, it's as simple as hovering over that specific part of the chart and clicking on it. And now it'll bring up 2 different sections here. This top section should look somewhat familiar to you. This looks like the normal way of checking out your data reports. Now down here, we have a couple of extra charts that we can look at here. So, for example, out of all of these exceptions, we can see in this pie chart here that I've created that all of these different employees and how many times they've left early in the last month have been done, what's been taking place here. So we can see that Jennifer, Karen, and Martin are the top 3 with 10, 9, and 7. And Phyllis actually up there as well. So I look at that and I go, huh, that's interesting. And I look, well, what day? What day is most common for being taken off early? And you can see here, it already arranges it. It's going to be Friday with 19. So if I wanted to drill down even further and say, okay, let's look at this just Friday. Now I've filtered it accordingly. So now we have our weekdays up here. And let's say that I wanted to now look at just this data report right here. If I were to go up here to the top right to viewing charts and data icon, I can either select charts only, charts and data, or what I want is data only. And I can see here, it's already sorted by Friday, and it's already sorted by the left early exception. And I say, you know what? There are 19 rows in the last 30 days right here. I want to go back a little bit further and see what the difference is. So in the last 30 days, there's 19. So what is the difference if I were to put 60 days? Let's look at the last 2 months. There we see that 5 more. So not nearly as many as the last month, but there's still an increase there. And so then I can sort it out and I can approach Martin. I can approach Karen, say, hey, and Phyllis, hey, why are you leaving so early on Fridays and so consistently? It'll tell you the exact date and everything here. And that's a quick example of how you can drill down using the charts, quickly view a chart, quickly see the data you need, and drill down into it to get into the details. We'll click on our Beyond Pay logo here, go back home, and now I want to go over to the Payroll tab. Now here I want to show you how to generally look at a report and how to configure your dashboard here. Now, before we get into the dashboard, you'll see this line chart here for the gross payrolls by month. Now, in order to drill down individually, like what we just did with the time, you would select any one of these months here, any one of these specific items. But I don't want to do that. I just want to go look at the general report and then maybe filter it accordingly. So if I wanted to do that, I simply select the name and it brings up that report that I've already saved. And it shows me a couple of other reports here. Now, this is handy because, again, it's quick and easy access to this data. I can quickly look up the payroll statuses for this year. So this top one, which is separated here, finalized, that's nice and green. That's good. That means it's all done. But what I could really use this for is right here. So I see that there are 3 open. Now that could be that they're just future payrolls, that they're open. But this yellow one here tells me that somebody has synced the time. So this is a quick indicator to show me there's an open payroll that needs to be completed. I need to get on that and check out and see what's going on. And so if I look up here at my data, oh, it's right there. And look, we've got some errors. Somebody synced the time. It's still open and it's past due. That's not good. And I was able to quickly see that by just looking at the color chart down here. And then something to note here with these reports, very similar to what you're used to already. Instead of coming up here and filtering, you can filter right here at the column. So you can sort by clicking those arrows. So you can sort ascending or descending. Or if you want to get further into it, you can click this little drop down arrow. Here's your filter, here's your sorting, and here's your grouping. So much the same as it was before, we just put it in the columns themselves. And then one final thing in that payroll tab that I wanted to discuss was rearranging these tiles and talking about the dashboards. So you can set multiple dashboards within each of these tabs. So in this case, for payroll, there are 2 different dashboards here. And within each dashboard, you can put 6 charts total, and you can arrange them how you like. So you see here, we're at our limit. We can't add any more charts. So let's say that I wanted to look at the gross payrolls by month tile, and I wanted to look at this labor distribution report profile in tandem with it. I like this one, but I wanted to move it to the next section. So when I click on this tab, I just see these 2 charts right out the gate. All I will simply do is come over here to the ellipses for the dashboard. I'm going to rearrange the tiles. I'm going to select the labor distribution report and simply move it up and save. And now you'll see it's been moved from here to here. And now I want to keep these 2 on the top. So I want to expand this a little bit and give it a little bit of room. I'll click on the ellipses for the specific tab or tile. I'll adjust the tile width and grow it. And there we go. And so now whenever I click on my payroll tab, these two charts that I want to see immediately are staring right back at me right there ready to go, so I can quickly and easily see the data and then drill down if I need to. All right, the final thing that I want to talk about. So we've drilled down into these charts and we've seen how we can generally navigate these charts, create the reports, and create our dashboards. How in the heck do we create these reports, and how do we create these charts and add them to our dashboard? And that's what we're going to go over right now. So we're going to go create just a general employee information report, and we're going to sort it by default departments. We're going to group it by default departments. So we're going to go up here to our hamburger menu up at the top left, click the team tab or team icon, click on my team and employee information. Now, for the sake of time, I've already created a basic employee report here. So it's grouped by default department, and then I've got it sorted here. And you'll see here that these employees don't have a default department, so that could also be used as a quick indicator of that they need to be part of some kind of department. That's not right. All right, so I like this report, but I don't have a chart down here. So all you have to do after you create your report, which functions much the same as it did before, where you just come over here and you save the view, I'm going to add a chart by selecting this bottom section here. I'm going to add a chart, and I want to make it a horizontal bar chart right here. So I'm going to select this, but you can select any icon you like here. I don't want it to look at the company. I want it to look at the default department. That's the information I want to look at. I'm going to leave the row count and count there. I'm going to leave the titles here because I want to be able to see what I'm looking at, but I will change the name. So I'm going to call this chart employees by, actually we'll just say department. That's a little bit too wordy. So we'll say employees by department, and we're going to save it. And there's our handy dandy chart. Nice and clean, looks very good. And the cool thing about this is that if you hover over one of these bars, it'll tell me, oh, there's 9 employees in this department. There's 10 in this department. There's 4 in this department, and so on. Really quick, really easy. I like this. So now I'm going to come up here to the ellipses. I'm going to save it and save and run. So that's all well and good, but it's not on my dashboard. How do I add it to my dashboard? So I'm going to click on the My Dashboard tab. I have 5 tiles, so I can add one more. I'm going to come over here. We have this nice big add chart icon here. I'm going to simply search for the employee information report. I don't want active employees. I want my basic employee report. And there's our chart right there, employees by department. So we'll select it, we'll add it. Now it's down here. I want to put it up here and I want to make it go all the way across. So I'm going to rearrange the tiles. Move this all the way up to the top. And then I'm going to come over here to this specific tile and I'm going to grow it. And I'm going to grow it one more time. So now when I come to my dashboard, when I click on that tab for in the future, it's right there ready and waiting for me. I have that information to easily look at. And then if I want to drill down into it, I just simply click it and I'm set. And that's it. That is all there is to this new UI. And this is why we love it so much. It gives us such quick and easy access to data, but also gives us the option to just continually drill down in there and filter very easily to see what we want to see. And with that, I'm going to hand it back over to for Q&A, and I will go ahead and stop talking now.
Perfect. Thank you, Michael. So just as a reminder to everyone listening and watching, there is a Q&A box at the bottom of your screen. So if any questions popped up while you were listening, feel free just to go ahead and drop those down there. I do have a few questions for you right off the bat though, Michael. Can users share dashboards with others?
You absolutely can. So it's going to be a little bit different than it was before, where before we went through security profiles. But here, what you'll do is that when you're creating your dashboard, you're going to save that view, and it's going to be right here. And you can either choose to share with all, or you can choose share with others. And by selecting that, you'll be able to choose different groups. You can browse through different things. You can go through, you can share it with specific employees. You can share it with company groups like security profiles, like admin groups, and so on. So that is how you share these reports. And then once you do that, then when the next time that those employees log into their system and say they went over the time that was shared, the time dashboard, it'll pop up right there as their default, and they'll see this exact same thing. And if they have limitations on which employees they can see, as opposed to whoever shared it, those limitations will still be set. They'll just have access to the same charts.
Got it. Okay, perfect. Another question is, can I export the charts?
You cannot export the charts. You can export the data reports, but what you can do, so let's go into this attendance tracking here. And it actually looks really nice. So you can export the data report here, but if I wanted to, I could print it. And so if I were to switch over to just the charts, it'll print it up. It'll give you a preview of those charts, and it looks just like these down here. Let's see if there they are.
Okay.
And so then when you do that, you'll be able to print it out and go from there. You can choose a couple of different options here as well, and then print it to whatever printer you want so that you can have them that way.
Okay. Another question that I have for you is, what determines what's in the drop down when you're adding a chart?
Correct. So when you're adding it, so let's go back to our report that we had created, right? The employees by department. So if this area is blank, so I created this report, right? I had no charts originally here. And so any charts that have been created with this employee information report appear in the dropdown. However, I did it specifically with this one so it was easily accessible, so it popped up with my specific basic employee report. So you would basically go create the data report here first, and then in this thing down here, this would be blank, or if there were other charts down here, you'd click this and you'd add a chart, and then that chart now becomes available to select when you're adding it to your dashboard.
Okay. Wonderful. That's all that came through at this moment, but if anything pops in your heads after we sign off today, as always, you can reach out to your CSR. They'll have an answer ready for you. And you can even take this conversation further with them, and that's a very easy way to go ahead and begin the switch if you haven't already, which obviously we love it. And there's no reason not to. It's completely improved features, a great new look, and everything that we showed you today. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and close out today's session. You will be getting a recording at your inbox, so you can share this to others in your department if you want to go ahead and show them what the new experience looks like. But we'll give you a few minutes back in your afternoon and hope you have a wonderful Thanksgiving. Thank you, Michael. Thanks,
Yes,
Chris.
thank you.
Bye, guys.
Bye.